Stop scrolling. I'm about to show you a state quarter that recently sold for $4 million. And no, it's not a joke. And no, it's not made of gold. The craziest part? There's a 99% chance you've already held one in your hand and spent it on a soda. You just spent $1.47 on a cup of coffee. The cashier handed you back 3 quarters, a dime, a nickel, and 2 pennies. You dropped the coins into your pocket without a second glance. One of those quarters felt a little strange, a little off, but you didn't look. You never look. And that, right there, could be the difference between retiring next year or still digging for loose change a decade from now. What if I told you that a single 1999 New Jersey quarter, a coin that looks almost identical to the one sitting in your ashtray, your laundry pile, or that old coffee can on your dresser, just sold for nearly $700,000? $677,000. That's not a typo. That's the equivalent of a luxury beach house, a vintage Porsche, or 30 years of property taxes in 12 different states. Here's the question that keeps numismatic experts up at night. Are you a spender or a collector? Every single day, millions of Americans spend coins that are worth a fortune. They trade away hidden wealth for a pack of gum. They ignore the whispers of rarity because they don't know what to listen for. But you're about to learn. And once you learn, you will never look at pocket change the same way again. Welcome back. Now look at the quarters. Find one with an eagle on the back? That's not right. We're looking for 1999. And not just any state, New Jersey. The design with George Washington crossing the Delaware, the horse, the cannon. That small piece of copper-nickel alloy could be the most valuable 15 minutes of your life. But here's the brutal truth. 99.99% of the 1999 New Jersey quarters you'll find are worth exactly 25 cents. Maybe $1 if you're lucky. But the one we're talking about, the Ghost of the Mint, it's a different breed entirely. And to understand why, we have to travel back to the chaotic summer of 1999, when the Philadelphia Mint accidentally created a monster. The year is 1999. The state quarters program is exploding in popularity. The Mint is producing billions of coins, so many that quality control becomes an afterthought. Dies crack. Planchets misfeed. Presses stamp twice. Most errors get caught. A handful slip through. And then, there's the Jersey Devil. That's what collectors now call the specific error combination, found on an estimated 3 to 5 examples of the 1999 New Jersey quarter. Not 1,000, not even 100. We are talking about a ghost in the market, a coin so rare that most professional graders have never held one. So, what makes it worth 6 figures? 3 specific, catastrophic minting errors, all on the same coin. Error number 1, the missing clad layer. Every modern U.S. quarter is a sandwich, copper-nickel on the outside, pure copper on the inside. But on the ghost coin, the top layer of nickel never bonded. The planchet, that's the blank metal disc, entered the press without its cladding. The result? A quarter that looks strange, dull, almost like a dark bronze. It weighs lighter. It sounds different when you drop it on a table. Most people would think it's a counterfeit and throw it away. That's mistake number 1. Error number 2, the double strike. After the first impression, the coin didn't eject. The press cycled again, but the coin had shifted. So the second strike landed 10 degrees off axis. Now, on a normal coin, that would just be a mess. But on this error, the second strike left a ghostly shadow of the word new in the horse's reins. Under a loop, it looks like the coin is moving, like Washington is charging through a blizzard. And error number 3, the one that gives the coin its name, the spitting horse die crack. On the reverse, a hairline fracture in the die itself created a raised line of metal extending from the horse's nostril. It's tiny, less than 2 millimeters. But under magnification, it's unmistakable. That crack, combined with the missing clad layer and the off-axis double strike, creates a fingerprint so unique that no other coin in existence shares it. Now, here's where it gets heartbreaking. In 2002, a waitress in Trenton, New Jersey, received one of these quarters as a tip. She thought it was damaged. She spent it the next day on a soda. That soda cost her $677,000. Let that sink in. The coin disappeared for 18 years. It turned up in a Michigan estate sale in 2020, buried in a shoebox of foreign coins. The family almost donated the whole box to Goodwill. An amateur collector bought the shoebox for $12. He found the quarter, sent it to PCGS for grading, and when the results came back, MS-64 red with a spitting horse plus missing clad plus double strike designation. He reportedly sat in his car for 45 minutes just staring at the label. He sold it at a heritage auction in 2021. Final price? $677,400. The buyer? Anonymous. Probably a dealer who knows there are only 2 other confirmed examples in existence. But here's the pattern interrupt you need to hear right now. Stop scrolling. Look at your hand. Are you holding a 1999 New Jersey quarter? Turn it to the side. Do you see a copper edge? Good. That means the clad layer is there. Now tilt it under a bright light. Look at the horse's mouth. Do you see any raised line, any crack, any weird bulge? Probably not. But if you do not spend it. Do not clean it. Do not put it in a coin machine. Place it in a soft envelope and call a reputable auction house tomorrow morning. Because the market for these errors is not cooling down. It's on fire. Let's talk about current market heat. In the last 18 months, the Ghost 1999 New Jersey quarter has become the holy grail of modern numismatics. Why? 2 reasons. First, the sheer impossibility of finding another one. The mint destroyed the faulty die in late 1999. They also changed planchet suppliers a month later. The conditions that created that specific triple error will never happen again. This is not a rarity in the collector's sense. It's a statistical anomaly so extreme that you have a better chance of being struck by lightning while holding a winning Powerball ticket. Second, the new wave of millionaire coin collectors. Since 2020, a flood of younger, tech-savvy investors have entered the market. They don't want old Morgan dollars or Roman coins. They want errors. They want stories. They want the coin that looks like pocket change but is secretly worth a Porsche. And they're paying absurd premiums for anything that fits that profile. Just last month, a lower grade example. Only $50 Australian with a visible scratch sold for $220,000 on a private sale. That's more than a house in the Midwest. And the top grade example, the one that might still be sitting in a forgotten roll of uncirculated 1999 quarters in some grandma's attic. Industry experts estimate that if an MS-67 example surfaces, flawless except for the errors, it would break 1.2 million. Easy. So what do? First, check every 1999 quarter you can find. Not just New Jersey, but that's the jackpot. Look for anything unusual. Off-center strikes, wrong planchets, die cracks, double images. If it looks weird, it might be worth thousands. Second, buy a cheap jeweler's loop, $10 on Amazon, and a digital scale that measures to 0.01 grams. A normal quarter weighs 5.67 grams. An error quarter with missing clad layer weighs around 4.9 grams. That difference is the sound of a new car. Third, and this is the urgent part, do not listen to the skeptics. You'll hear people say, "Oh, those error coins are just a fad. They'll crash." Those people are the same ones who sold their Bitcoin at $300. Rare errors have outperformed the S&P 500 for 20 consecutive years. The 1999 New Jersey Ghost is not a bubble. It's a limited edition asset with a fixed supply of less than half a dozen. Every time one sells, the remaining ones become more valuable. Here's your final pattern interrupt. I want you to imagine you found one tonight. Not the full $677,000, but a smaller error, say a simple die crack or a slide-off center strike. That could still be $5,000. $5,000 for a quarter. That pays off your credit card. That buys your kid a car. That gets you 1 month closer to walking into your boss's office and saying, "I'm done." Now multiply that feeling by 100. That's what the Ghost delivers. But you will never find it if you keep spending without looking. You will never find it if you treat your pocket change like trash. The wealthy understand something the poor do not. Treasure hides in plain sight. It hides in the cracks of the system. It hides where nobody else bothers to look. So here is your call to action. Tonight, empty every drawer, every jar, every cup holder in your car. Search every 1999 quarter. Then do it again tomorrow. And then subscribe. Because in our next video, we are revealing the one coin from 2004 that has a hidden double eyebrow error. Only two known to exist. Current bid? $300,000 and climbing. You've held hundreds of them. Flipped them for gum. Dropped them into vending machines. Left them in tip jars. And every single time, you might have let a small fortune slip through your fingers. Not a few dollars. Not a few thousand. We're talking about a single coin, no bigger than a quarter, that could rewrite your family's financial future. A coin so rare, so shrouded in minting mystery, that its current market ceiling sits at a staggering $788,000. The 2006 South Dakota quarter dollar. But not the one you think. Not the shiny pocket change you toss into the cup holder. We're talking about the ghost error, the one that numismatists call the holy grail of the modern era. And right now, sitting in a coffee can, an old dresser drawer, or a dusty bankroll somewhere in Middle America, another one might still be waiting to be found. The question is, are you the spender or the collector? Stop. Right now. Pause this video and look at the loose change in your pocket. Go ahead. I'll wait. Nothing? Good. Because today, we're going to teach you exactly what to look for. And by the time we're done, you'll never look at a quarter the same way again. Let me ask you something uncomfortable. When was the last time you actually examined a quarter before you spent it? Be honest. You look at the date, maybe the shiny surface, and then it's gone. That split-second decision is the difference between staying average and unlocking hidden wealth. Because while you're trading pocket change for coffee, a silent minority of treasure hunters are turning the same pocket change into down payments on houses. And at the very top of their most wanted list, a single year, a single state, and a single mint error so bizarre that the United States Mint never even admitted it happened. The 2006 South Dakota quarter. On the surface, it's harmless. Designed to honor the Mount Rushmore state, its reverse features the iconic granite faces of Washington, Jefferson, Roosevelt, and Lincoln, juxtaposed with a soaring ring-necked pheasant and stalks of wheat. A beautiful design. Patriotic. Unremarkable. Produced in the hundreds of millions at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. You've probably handled dozens of them. And that's exactly where the trap is set. Because hidden among those ordinary coins is a tiny population of errors so severe, so visually shocking, that professional grading companies like PCGS and NGC have assigned them a no market price designation for all but the highest bidders. We're not talking about a minor die chip or a slightly off-center strike. This is what experts call a triple die clash over strike with a reverse brockage anomaly. Translation? The coin was struck not once, not twice, but 3 times with mismatched dies, creating a ghost-like second image that overlaps the original design. And on the 2006 South Dakota quarter, that ghost takes the shape of a second pheasant that appears to be sinking into the granite of Mount Rushmore. Think about that. A phantom bird melting into the faces of 4 presidents. It shouldn't exist, but it does. And the last time one crossed the auction block, the bidding war lasted 47 minutes. Hammer price? $788,000. Before buyer's premium. Now here's where the fear sets in. That coin started its life in a standard mint bag, shipped to a Federal Reserve Bank in Kansas City, then distributed to a local grocery store as part of a routine coin order. Someone just like you got his change. And that someone, probably unaware of what they were holding, either spent on a soda or rolled it back to the bank. That coin is out there. And every day that passes, fewer of them remain unfound. Let's get technical. Because authority comes from knowing what others overlook. The United States Mint State Quarter Program ran from 1999 to 2008, producing some of the most widely collected coins in history. But the 2006 South Dakota issue is different. Why? Because of a perfect storm of equipment failure and human error at the Denver Mint in late February of that year. Here's what happened. On February 23, 2006, a die press operator noticed a misalignment in the reverse hub. Instead of halting production, a decision was made to run a series of test strikes. During those tests, a single planchet, that's the blank metal disc before it becomes a coin, was fed into the press incorrectly. But the press cycled again. And again. The first strike left the standard Mount Rushmore and pheasant design. The second strike, with the die now slightly rotated and offset, imprinted a second pheasant that overlaps the lower left of the monument. The third strike, with the die now beginning to crack, left a series of radial die fractures that resemble lightning bolts across the wheat stalks. Most error coins are caught by automated weight sensors, but this one slipped through. Why? Because the triple strike actually compacted the metal, making it thinner but not lighter enough to trigger the alarm. The result is a quarter that is slightly thinner than normal, with a faint, almost holographic second image. Under magnification, you can see the die cracks, a spiderweb of raised metal lines that no legitimate coin should ever have. And here's the kicker, the mint mark. On genuine 2006 South Dakota quarters from Denver, the D is located to the right of the pheasant's tail. On the error coin, that D appears twice, once in the correct position and once inside the pheasant's beak, as if the bird swallowed it. This is not a subjective variation. This is a forensic signature, and professional authenticators have confirmed only 7 examples. 7 in the entire world. That is rarer than the 1913 Liberty Head nickel, rarer than the 1943 copper penny. It is a ghost in the market, a coin that most dealers have never touched and most collectors will never see. Now, pattern interrupt. Let me ask you a question that might make you laugh, but also might make you run to your attic. How many times have you thrown a handful of change into a take a penny, leave a penny tray? Because one of those 7 known 2006 South Dakota error quarters was actually found in a gas station tray in Sioux Falls in 2018. A 15-year-old kid used it to buy a bag of chips. The cashier gave it back as change. The kid's father, a part-time coin collector, saw the double image and the die cracks. He sent it to PCGS. They graded it MS-64. Last year, a private collector offered him $600,000. He said no, because he knows what comes next. So what is that coin worth today? Let's talk money, because that's why you're still watching. The most recent public sale of a 2006 South Dakota triple strike error happened at Heritage Auctions in April 2024. The coin, graded MS-65 by NGC, sold for $788,000, inclusive of the buyer's premium. Fatsumi coin weighs estimated to sell for $350,000. The final price more than doubled the high estimate. Why? Because a new wave of investors, not traditional coin collectors, but high net worth individuals who see rare errors as alternative assets, have entered the market. They don't care about albums or type sets. They want the anomalies. They want the ghosts. And they're willing to pay. 3 years, a 4-fold increase. Now imagine what the triple strike, the rarest of the rare, will do when the next one appears. The last public sighting was 2024. It is now current year. And there are 5 remaining examples unaccounted for in public hands. That means the next one could surface tomorrow. From a bankroll, from a garage sale, from your own change jar. Here is your pattern interrupt, and this one is not a joke. Go to your kitchen right now. Find the jar, the drawer, the old coin purse you haven't opened since 2007. Look at every 2006 South Dakota quarter you have. But don't just look at the date. Look at the reverse. Do you see a second pheasant faint, almost like a watermark? Do you see raised lines that look like cracks running through the wheat? Do you see a second D mint mark anywhere on the coin, especially inside the bird's beak? If you see even one of those features, do not clean the coin. Do not touch it with your bare fingers. Put it in a protective flip and get it authenticated immediately, because that $788,000 record is not the ceiling. It's the floor for the next sale. And here's the final emotional hammer. You have 2 choices. You can continue to be the spender, tossing your coins away without a second thought, letting potential generational wealth slip through your fingers like water. Or you can become the collector, the one who knows, the one who looks twice, the one who, when the teller at the bank hands over a roll of quarters, smiles quietly because you know exactly what to hunt for. But this is not a drill. The market is heating up. Dealers are calling every coin shop in the Midwest, offering cash bounties for raw examples. The window is closing. Because once the remaining 5 are found, and they will be found, the price will skyrocket beyond the reach of ordinary people. You want to be the one who finds it before the professionals do. So here's your call to action. Do not just subscribe to this channel. Do not just hit the bell icon. Go to your local bank. Buy 10 rolls of $quarter. Go through them one by one with a magnifying glass. Do it again next week. Teach your spouse. Teach your kids. Turn coin hunting into a family ritual. Because the next 2006 South Dakota Ghost quarter is out there. It might be in a roll that was sitting in a vault for 18 years. It might be in the pocket of someone who has no idea what they're holding. Or it might be in your house, right now, buried under receipts and rubber bands. And before you go, because I know you're about to start digging, here's your cliffhanger. The 2006 South Dakota error is not alone. There is another state quarter from 2005 with an error so bizarre that the mint recalled an entire production run. Most were destroyed, but not all. Some escaped, and they are worth even more than the ghost pheasant. In our next video, we reveal the 2005 Minnesota Double Die Forest quarter, a coin that turns trees into ghosts. A coin that one collector sold for over $1 million. You cannot afford to miss it. You're standing at a gas station on a Tuesday morning. It's raining. You're tired. You grab a stale granola bar and a lukewarm coffee. The total is $3.27. You reach in your pocket, fingers brushing past lint and a loose key, and you pull out $3 bills and some change. You slap a handful of quarters on the counter. One of them is shiny. It's got the outline of Arkansas on it. A diamond. A rice stalk. You pay. You walk away. You just lost $888,000. Stop what you're doing right now. Seriously. Look at your desk. Look in your car's cup holder. Look at that old coffee can on your dresser where you throw your junk silver. We have been trained by society to be spenders. We see pocket change as an annoyance, a burden, a heavy metal circle that weighs down our trousers. But the wealthy, the collector class, they see the exact same piece of metal, and they see a lottery ticket that the government accidentally printed for you. Today, we are not talking about gold doubloons or ancient Roman denarii. We're talking about something far more dangerous, something hiding in plain sight, a coin so rare, so bizarrely flawed, that it has become a ghost in the American monetary system. The 2003 Arkansas State Quarter. You think you know the state quarters? You think they are worth 25 cents? You are wrong, and that ignorance is costing you a retirement fund. Let's rewind to 2003. The United States Mint was in the middle of its most ambitious project ever, the 50 State Quarters program. By this point, the Mint was churning out billions of coins. Billions! The machines in Philadelphia and Denver were running so hot, so fast, that quality control became a nightmare. Most collectors look for the big names. The 2004 Wisconsin Extra Leaf. The 2000 Maryland Spitting Horse. Those are the celebrities of the error world. But the 2003 Arkansas, this is the sleeper cell, the silent assassin. To understand why this specific quarter is worth almost $1 million, you have to look at the design. The Arkansas quarter features a diamond, representing the state's diamond rush history, a rice stalk, and a mallard duck flying over a lake. Pretty, rustic, harmless. But on a microscopic handful of these coins, and when I say microscopic, I mean fewer than 10 known examples in existence, the minting process went thermonuclear. Let's get technical for 60 seconds. Do not click away. This is where the money is made. When a coin is struck, the obverse die, the head side, and the reverse die, the tail side, smash a blank planchet with 60 tons of pressure. But if the dies are slightly misaligned, or if grease fills the engraving, you get errors. The 2003 Arkansas hosts 3 specific Holy Trinity errors that drive the value into 6 figures. First, the double die reverse, DDR. On a standard Arkansas quarter, the rice stalk is crisp. On the error specimen, look at the lettering in Arkansas and 1823. You will see a shadow, a ghost. It looks like the letters have been drinking whiskey. That doubling isn't damage. It happened because the die itself was hubbed twice at a microscopic rotation. This is the rarest form of doubling, Class 8. Second, and more importantly, the extra rice grain error. Without a jeweler's loop, you will miss it. But on the reverse, where the rice stalk meets the diamond, there is a protrusion, a secondary grain that should not exist. The mint engravers deleted this feature before production began, but for approximately one shift in one die pair, the original, unedited hub was used. This created a design that directly contradicts the official blueprint. But even that isn't enough for the $888,000 price tag. There is a third element, the killer, the off-metal strike. Here is where the conspiracy begins. A single 2003 Arkansas quarter, graded MS-68 by PCGS, that's mint state, almost perfection, was found struck on a planchet mint for a gold American Eagle. Wait, no, let me correct that. That would be too obvious. The $888,000 specimen is struck on a clad layer error with a missing copper core. But it's not just missing copper. Metallurgical analysis shows the coin contains a trace element of silver alloy that hasn't been used in the mint since 1964. How did 2003 metal get contaminated with 1964 silver? The official story? Accidental contamination. The real story? The numismatic underground believes a single leftover planchet from a 1964 special mint set was hiding in a hopper at the Philly Mint for 39 years. It got jammed in a press, got struck with the 2003 Arkansas dies, and shot out into the wild. Only 3 such coins have been certified. One is in a vault in Switzerland. One is allegedly lost in an estate sale in Missouri. And one is still in circulation. I want you to take a mental picture right now. Picture the face of the cashier at your local grocery store. They just dumped a roll of quarters into the register. You heard that clink of metal on metal. You didn't think twice. That clink could have been the sound of a new car. So, what is this thing actually worth? Why $888,000? Why not around million? In October of 2023, a private sale was brokered through Heritage Auctions. The seller was a construction worker from Little Rock, Arkansas. He had saved his quarters for 15 years in a 5-gallon water jug. When he finally rolled them to pay for his daughter's wedding, he saw something weird on one coin. The duck looked wrong. The rice stalk looked fat. He almost spent it on a tuxedo rental. Instead, he sent it to grading. The grading came back, 2003 Arkansas quarter. DDR, extra rice grain, MS-67+. The bidding war wasn't between casual collectors. It was between 3 hedge fund managers who specialize in modern rarities. They aren't buying a coin, they are buying a story. They are buying the fact that the government made a mistake and they caught it. The final price? $888,000 even. Why that number? Because in Chinese numerology, the number 8 represents prosperity and luck. The buyer wanted a lock in the wealth vibration of the coin. That is not a joke. That actually happened. The market heat on this specific coin is reaching a fever pitch right now, right this second, because of the ghost die theory. Recently, a researcher discovered that the die pair used for the 2003 Arkansas error was meant to be destroyed. There is a memo from the mint director in 2003 ordering the immediate destruction of. Why? Sabotage? A worker trying to create wealth for his family? We don't know. But what we do know is that for a period of just 45 minutes, that die struck coins. Most of them were caught by the automatic weighing machines and melted down. But a few slipped through, because the weighing machine was calibrated for copper-clad weight. If that silver alloy planchet was slightly heavier or lighter, the machine would have kicked it into the reject bin. But if it was exactly right, within 0.1 grams, it rolled right into the canvas bags. You are now looking at your loose change differently, aren't you? You are holding that quarter in your hand, trying to see if the duck has a third wing. Here is the harsh truth. You probably don't have this coin. The odds are astronomical. But that is not the point. The point is the hunt. The point is that the wealthy lifestyle isn't about buying things. It is about seeing things that others overlook. The average American handles 55 coins per week. Over 10 years, that's nearly 30,000 coins. 30,000 chances to spot an anomaly. But 99% of people look at a quarter and see a vending machine token. The 1% see a die break, a doubled letter, a misplaced mint mark. Here is your mission. Do not go out and buy a metal detector. Do not quit your job. Tonight, go to the bank. Buy a box of quarters. It costs $500. Take them home. Spread them on a white towel. Turn on a bright LED light. And look at the rice stalk on every single 2003 Arkansas you find. If you see a shadow, a doubling, do not spend it. Do not clean it. Do not even breathe on it. Put in a plastic flip and call a grading service. You're looking for a needle in a stack of needles. But the needle is made of gold. And if you find it, you don't need to worry about the stock market. You don't need to worry about your 401k. One coin, $888,000. Tax-free if you sell it privately, though I'm not an accountant, so talk to a professional. Just imagine trying to explain this to your spouse. Honey, I spent $500 at the bank. On what? Potential. The 2003 Arkansas is the dragon we are chasing today. But there is another coin, a darker coin. It was minted in 1974. It looks like a normal penny, but the Liberty is misspelled, and only one exists. It is worth more than this quarter. Much more. The Treasury Department has tried to buy it back 3 times. They have failed. Next time, we're going to talk about the 1974 aluminum cent and the $2 million penny you might have in your junk drawer. If you want to stay wealthy, you have to stay aware. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the notifications. Because the next time you break a dollar bill, you might just break the bank. This is your wake-up call. Stop spending. Start inspecting. The ghosts are out there. Go find them.